This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, welcome to another edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. Justin Jarrett joined, as always, by Wes Kerr, and we've got some guests waiting in the green room that we'll talk to in just a few minutes. The men of the hour, because the hour is upon us, Wes. We had our high school football media day, WHHI putting that on over at FWDG Furniture in Beaufort, which was a great locale. Great to talk to the folks over there about why they host this thing. And it's a big, pretty much the same reason as why we do what we do. Just want to support the local kids and the teams and help them put their best foot forward, get their names out there. And it was an awesome event. We got to see lots of people, really got the juices flowing. It really feels like it's here now. And we'll get started on Saturday night with the guys that we're going to talk to here in just a minute. Nic Shuford and Dietrich Shuford, now over at BA, formerly at Thomas Heyward, and trying to take the success they've had at THA over to Beaufort Academy, where they're already on the right track. So exciting stuff. But Wes, man, it was great to spend time with you and get to see all our friends from around the Lowco coming together. Obviously, just the Beaufort and the Jasper folks. We didn't have the Colleton and Hampton folks out there the other day, but looking forward to getting out and seeing them too. But exciting time of year, man.
Yeah, this is. I was thinking Media Day is the unofficial kickoff to high school football season, where you get a bunch of our area teams from Beaufort County, from Jasper County to come in here and get talking for a little bit about the coming season, and a lot of excitement, not just over there, but with Hampton and what the Hampton County Hurricanes do in their first year, combined Estill and Way Hampton. Of course, we got the Beaufort High Eagles defending their state championship. A lot of excitement on the high school league side. Bluffton, Whale Branch, all looking primed for some good seasons as well. And then you go to the SCISA side, and you look at this Beaufort Academy team. They're bringing back a lot of their talented pieces from last year, like Jack Support, Devontae Green, and now they're bringing in, on top of that, a really well-experienced coach in Dietrich Shuford, who's won a bunch of state titles over at Thomas Heyward, and now he's a Beaufort Academy Eagle, bringing over Dietrich as well. So Nic and Dietrich, Nic the coach, Dietrich, the starting quarterback for this Beaufort Academy squad, they're getting ready to go out, because a week from today we will be in Charleston Southern watching the kickoff of the high school football season for 2023.
Yeah, that's going to be the One Team, One Cause football showcase up at Charleston Southern, and Nic Shuford has been a standard there. He's been there every year. It's always it seems like it's always Neil Minton against Nic Shuford, no matter who they're coaching for. So let's get them in here, the Shuford boys. What's happening, gentlemen? Welcome to the show. I know you guys are eager to get it started, and it was great to see you guys the other day out at the media day. But how excited are you for Saturday night? I'm sure there's a little bit of anxiety too, because you just have so little practice going into it. You have a really tough opponent, but I know that every coach and every player is itching to go hit somebody else, and you guys have had the opportunity to do that several years in a row now, a week before everybody else. So how excited are you for Saturday night?
Feeling good, man. You're going to have those first game nerves, but I feel like we're pretty well prepared. We've worked hard as a group, and I feel like we're ready to take on this next game coming up.
Yeah, I do like starting earlier than everybody else, and kind of getting out there, and just really as a test for me to see where we stand. The earlier we can get out there, the better chance we have to figure out what our weaknesses are and try to build off of our strengths. So every advantage I can get to start early, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, it's a heck of an opening test against a very strong junior collegiate team. From what you've looked about the Titans, what stands out? Tell me about some guys, or maybe some kind of the strengths that this Titans team has that you'll have to combat against a week from tonight.
I'll be honest with you, Jarrett and I actually haven't exchanged film yet. He's been a little tight-lipped with the film so far. So just from some of the research I've been able to do, it's kind of it seems like a typical Trinity team. They've got a stable of running backs that they're going to throw at you that are, they've got a nice mix of some guys that can bruise you up, and then they've got those speedy guys that they're going to use to get the edge on you. So it's definitely going to be a test to try to slow them down.
Yeah, no doubt. But you guys definitely have some speed over on your side too. And you talked the other day about it's a lot better being preparing with these guys instead of preparing for them. With Devontae Green, Jackson Porter, Tayshaun Heyward, Devin Fripp. There's a lot of guys that got some wheels over there. So how excited are you, Dietrich, to play with all those guys and be able to spread it around and let them rack up those yards after the catch and make you look at it?
It's great, man. I'm very excited. I played with a lot of them boys back when it was in the county ball days, so it's kind of a nice reunion to get back with them. There's some dogs. They'll make you look real good, so it's a pleasure to work with them.
It's going to be fun for you, Dietrich, and, just great to see you getting ready for a new season. Certainly have had to gone through some adversity early on in your high school football career. Had a season-ending injury a few years ago. Came back last year. You brought the Rebels to the state championship game, just coming up short there at the end for Thomas Heyward. Now moving to this new opportunity at Beaufort Academy. Just reflect so far in your high school career and how you're approaching this fresh start of things here at BA.
Yeah, it's a fresh start, and I'm up to the challenge. It's a new team, new group of guys, so I kind of have to adjust to them as well as they have to adjust to me and my dad coming in. But it's a great group. They get after it every day, and I think we've got a really good shot to do something special this year and make it back to that final stage.
You were still, even though you were injured that game, you were the MVP of the game for me because you saved me from getting doused with the water bucket when I was standing next to your dad absentmindedly. So still remember, still appreciate you, still got your back on thanks to that one. But, this program at BA has kind of been on the upswing. Obviously, Clifford came over there. He won a state title in 8-man. But they've kind of, been on the cusp the last couple of years of getting back to that state championship in 11-man. What has kind of been the reception there? I'm getting the sense that it's kind of a, hey, we got the pieces we needed to get over the top. But is that kind of the reception you guys have gotten, like this warm welcome of, thanks for coming on board. Now let's go do this thing together.
Yeah, everybody's been great over there. From Coach Clifford to the AD, Coach Howell, and all the blue and white boosters. Everybody's been extremely supportive, and I don't think anybody's like, oh, we've got a coach that's won 4 state championships. Now we're going to go get one. I think it's just, everybody. Coach Clifford did a great job building that program to where it was. Another 8-win season last year, and
absolutely,
we're just coming in, me and my staff, and we're going to see if we can, get over that hump and get to that title game for 11-man.
What have you been able to learn just from talking to Coach Clifford and, here's some advice from his time here at BA and how he does things? How are you going to maybe incorporate a bit of that, but then take your own kind of coaching style with you as you begin this new chapter?
Yeah, I'm a pretty stubborn guy, so I pretty much only know how to be one way when it comes to the way I approach things. But as far as Coach Clifford goes, he's been great to lean on. Obviously he's coached these guys for the past 3-4 years. So he knows, their strengths, weaknesses, where they need to fit into what I'm trying to do. He's been great as far as, hey, if you're trying to do this with this position, then this guy would be great for it, and stuff like that. And then me and him always get on the chalkboard and just draw different things up, and, plays I've ran against him in the past and plays he's ran against me in the past that have been successful. So, trying to put all that stuff together into one playbook.
That could be pretty dangerous there. That could be very interesting to say the least. But Clifford, he's an interesting character to say the least. It's great to have that institutional knowledge, like you mentioned, that you may suggest trying a guy somewhere and he goes, nope, we put him there last year. That doesn't work. You've got that historical knowledge, and that's a great thing to have. And he also is just a character. Just funnier than anyone would know by watching him coach a football team. He's just hilarious. But he uncracked any one-liners for you that you can repeat on a family program?
I can't share any of them, but yes, daily we get some of those. And like you said, just from coaching against them, being on opposite sidelines, you would never know the the comedian that he can be.
I mean, he's so locked in and so intense in the game, and then you get him away from the game, and he's just such a jokester. Like, he's so unserious. You're like, how can this be the same person? But it's funny stuff to see him flip that switch.
Yes.
What do you guys? You haven't had a lot of time to put a whole lot in. So how do you tackle this opening game so early? What are you looking for? I guess you kind of accept that there are going to be some rough spots, and it's going to be kind of a test to see where you need to get back to work, right? I mean, how do you philosophically approach this first game?
Well, we had our only scrimmage last night up in Charleston with Northwood and Military Magnet. So obviously we got back last night and dove into the film, and we can see what we need to work on. Definitely some areas that need to be worked on, but it's just going to be a process. These first 2, 3, 4 weeks into the season, everybody grasping the concepts and getting on the same page. But I mean, as far as offensive install goes, we're probably 50% right now of where we want to be, which isn't bad. I mean, we're a week and a half, 2 weeks into this thing. That's not terrible, but we're just going to, as we get a better understanding and a better execution of things, we'll slowly add more in.
And you guys have a lot of skilled players to work with. I mean, Jackson Porter, Devontae Green, a duo that tore up the ground game these last few years at BA. So both of them are back, and then you got a kind of an X factor in Zeke and Dawes, who can do a couple of different things. He's got that speed out wide, also serves as the kicker, and then some other guys that could be as well carving in a role or carving out a role as this year goes on. So it's great to have a nice group of offensive skill positions, and then you look at Alex Williams and Eddie Gonzalez coming back on the offensive line, which will be absolutely huge to open up those holes for those guys.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The running game last night in spurts was really good. And what I liked the most about last night was, I mean, there were things all over the place. Alex had a great night. Eddie had a great night. Warren Benjamin had a pretty good night. But the blocking that Jackson and Devontae did for each other was so impressive. They're such unselfish players. It was, we ran a play to the right where D was blocking for Jackson, and then it's like, all right, your turn to block for me. And Jackson went and, had a crushing block for a 50-yard touchdown last night. Just the unselfishness that both of them have right now is gonna be huge for us.
Well, and it's going to be necessary. I mean, you get a couple of guys like that splitting carries, and they get pouting about it, then it can go sideways in a hurry. So you definitely need both of them pulling in the same direction, and they've been in that role together for a couple of years. So I don't think you'll have too much trouble there. But yeah, you love to see that with those guys. And Jackson Porter is just a hard-nosed dude, man. He's just a tough kid. Devontae runs so hard. They're fun to watch. I had a question or a topic that I was going to shift to that I totally lost at some point in that ramble. But I do love both of those players. And Alex, I mean, he's undersized, but just an absolute beast in the trenches for you guys. So let's take a look a little bit at the rest of the area in SCISA. Since you guys have been around the block, everybody a little bit. Looking over at where you just came from, Thomas Heyward, bringing back Tony McGeary, an alum of the school who's been out in Utah, got a good coaching background. They brought in Tyree Simmons, local guy who played at Baylor, to run the defense. It looks like, obviously it's a transition year over there, but it looks like they're going to be on pretty good footing in 1A.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a great team. I mean, first of all, great hire, bringing back in, Coach McGarry, who had a huge career out in Utah. And I mean, it's always nice to have a team that you can build around Antonio Banner. Gives an absolute stud, and they've got a ton of skill guys to go along with him.
They do.
They're a little young up front, but they're going to be good. So I think their success is just going to kind of determine how fast they can bring those younger linemen along. But I mean, Tony, and you got the Robinson twins and Cutter Williams and
Josh Gibson, and
they've got them all. Bo Pinkney, the linebacker on the line. I mean, they've got some guys over there to make a run in 1A again for sure.
And Caleb Snyder over from JP2 taking over at quarterback. So that could be, could be interesting to see what they can do in 1A for sure. But I think Patrick Henry too is going to be trouble in that region. They keep getting better and better, and they gave you a pretty good swing last year. So I think that's going to be a really interesting matchup.
It will be. We saw Patrick Henry. I mean, obviously it's not real football, but we saw him in a couple 7-on-7s over the summer, and they do look really good. I was talking with somebody the other day. I think SCISA football in general across, I mean, if you're looking at 2A, I guess Williamsburg would be your hands down favorite returning. But besides them, I would say SCISA is pretty wide open this year in all classifications. I think it's going to be a really interesting year.
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
So too.
And you guys get Williamsburg on October 6th at home at BA, and just taking a look at your schedule, opening up at home against Hilton Head Prep, going to Pinewood Prep before that. So certainly a lot of couple winnable games you think you should win, and then a couple challenging ones. Hilton Head Christian Academy, of course, opening with Trinity Collegiate. So what do you expect to see these out of region games, these non-region games, to prepare you for a couple of big region games at the end of the schedule?
Yeah, I think it's huge for us. That's why, Pinewood was already on the schedule, and that's going to be a huge test for us. And then we added Trinity, so I don't think we could have started the season much tougher than that. And my opinion is, if you can get into the playoffs, those early season tests are only beneficial to you. They never hurt you. If you can get out of those games healthy and move forward, those tests early in the year play dividends in the playoffs. So that's why I always like a heavy loaded schedule at the top.
Yeah, and you guys had some years at Heyward where you kind of took some lumps early on playing up a little bit, and then you got to the 1A playoffs and you just ran through it. So you saw it with Beaufort last year. I mean, they were battle tested, and the time they got to the playoffs, it was like nothing for them. They were able to handle their business. So definitely could set up well for you as long as you don't get a bunch of people hurt. That's always the danger, right? Playing that brutal schedule, you lose a couple two-way starters, and it starts getting dim in a hurry. But you guys do have some good depth over there, and I guess just before we leave you for the night, give us your thoughts on this final week before we get into the season, and what you're looking forward to on Saturday night.
It's going to be jam-packed week. We've got a lot to get in before Saturday. We're going to take it a little easy on Monday, and do some special team stuff, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be pretty hardcore, and then Friday we'll amp it down a little bit. And I really just want to see them compete Saturday when we go up there. I mean, I know we're going to make mistakes. Both teams are. Trinity's going to make mistakes. It's early, but I just want to compete and the effort that they've been showing me so far all season or all summer. I just want to see that same effort. That's really all I'm looking for.
D, last time up there last year, I think you threw like 1 million touchdown passes, right? Like you like playing on that field?
Yes, they got a pretty good track record on there so far.
We'd love to get back there the weekend before Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
No question. Well, thanks a lot, fellas. We appreciate you taking some time on a Saturday evening, and just 1 week out. I know you got a lot to think about, but nothing like a deadline to get you cranked up and ready to go and ready for whatever. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you real soon. We'll see you out there Saturday night.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Always good to talk with those guys. Looking forward to seeing what they can do against Trinity Collegiate. I think that's, one of those games where win or lose, you win, because you get to go out there and test yourself against a really quality opponent early enough in the season that you got plenty of time to do something about whatever's wrong.
Yeah, I think it works out well. No matter if you come away with a victory or come away with a loss, there's a lot of things you can take away. And at this point of the season, and you mentioned it, and Nick kind of mentioned it as well, it's about assessing where you're at. Targeting what areas you need to work on, what things you did well, what things you be emphasized in practice. So I think you're going to be able to take a lot out of it against a quality Trinity Collegiate opponent. And it's an opportunity for Coach Shuford. I mean, coming in here first game in this new program, and definitely a couple guys that he knows well, and of course Dietrich, but kind of seeing and valuing where everyone is, and then you go from there and you build towards region play. So I think it's a great opportunity. I think that's the perfect way to put it. I mean, it's a good opportunity to make a statement, and most importantly, build off some things that you did well, and look to improve things that didn't go so well, and that's the biggest emphasis on what we're going to see Saturday night. But it's exciting. I mean, the juices are flowing. First game, there's always cheers. There's cheers for the players, cheers for the coaches. It's a fantastic time to you just get those extra bit of goosebumps when you take the field for the first time in the season, especially when you're the first team to do it. I mean, this is I believe the first game of the South Carolina high school football season overall, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't know what would be before this. This is right. I think pretty early.
There's a couple scrimmages before, but this is the first regular season game.
Yeah, it's the kickoff and statewide, and I plan to make the trip up there, barring something unforeseen. I plan to be up there Saturday night because what else are we gonna do? It's opening night of high school football season. Can't wait to get out there. I was getting itchy last night, wanting to go find a scrimmage or something. It was about 6:00 Friday night. I started getting that itch, like we got to get out there. But media day was fun. Any big takeaways from media day? I thought I was impressed with new JP2 coach Shane Milligan and just kind of the vibe, the camaraderie that they seem to have already built. I continue to be impressed with Ed Susi at Battery Creek. It's going to take time, but if they give him some time and resources, he's going to build something there. Any other Whale Branch? I thought Hatcher was in rare form. He was in top form, and he was very positive.
I'm sold. I think this Whale Branch team can surprise a ton of folks, especially when you look at everyone who suffered injuries midway through that year, and so many of them coming back here. Alonzo Allen, absolute beast. Bradford Thompson, another beast out there on the line. They've got some big dudes playing both ways. And, I think that sets them up well in 1A when you have that kind of size coming in. And then you have Keith Chisholm, who's a playmaker on both sides of the ball. We'll see what Jermon Bowers does at quarterback. And they got some new guys coming in, like Gerald Cummings, who's looking like he's going to be a solid piece. They do lose a bit on the line, but there's a lot of guys coming back. There's a lot of guys making their way up. So I think with everyone they're returning, and if as Jared Hatcher said at the end, got to stay healthy, and it's going to be the key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he said, when teams like them in 1A lose starters, they lose 2 at a time to injury. So, they had 3 key guys go down last year. A couple of them were running back / linebacker guys, which are, that's kind of the cornerstone of your team. And they lost a couple of those big guys with Cliff Major and Mason Griffin, and that was just too much to overcome. Estill had a really good squad. And the margin for error is just so slim when you only have 25 or so kids on your roster. So, but I thought Hatcher was in top form. He seemed very optimistic. He toned it down a little for us because he'd already done 2 positive interviews. He said he's probably going to jinx them. They weren't going to win a game, so he had to tone it down a little bit for us and be a little more Hatcher-like. But you want to listen to Hatcher here on the show real quick? Let's pop him in. I like Daryl Cummings too.
I've
mentioned him.
I've been coaching now here 30-some years. I coached over at the Creek a little while, but I love Seaton. And when they were building this school, it's the honest truth. I used to drive out on the weekends and watch the construction of the school. I wanted that job so bad because I'm a country dude, and those are kind of rural kids. I knew it was going to be a great fit because I can relate to these kids and they can relate to me. I mean, I'm actually an educated man, but you listen to me talking, you wouldn't think so. Well, I mean, athletically, Keith can do it all. I mean, he's a 3-sport guy. He has great football instincts. He has great ball break instincts. But in the open field, he can't run. He just knows when to cut. And when he makes the cut, when it's time to go down, he's not going to go down easily. He's going to have to work to get it down. So we're glad to have him on the team. He's a good kid. He does all the things the right way, and that goes a long way. But we have a lot of young kids, and they're big. and they're big and lean. And we have a ninth grader that's going to start. I can tell you that just from what I've seen out of him. And that's has allowed us to move Bradford to Bradford all-state defensive end in a 5 technique and actually play tackle. We're going to experiment with him at linebacker because we feel like with those big guys up front, we have the capability now to move them back a little bit deeper, to the second level. So that
he definitely moves well enough to play there.
And like I said, this is an experiment. We'll see. Hopefully this will work out. And because kid runs a 4.5 40, so he can close a gap in a hurry.
Yeah, I've been working to where I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna get, or to the point I'm at now. I was actually working real hard because it's like I'll say back then or whatever. I mean, I wasn't slacking, but it's like I wasn't perfect. I wasn't like perfect with certain things I used to do and stuff like that. I just gotta make it a habit and get better and better at what I do every day.
I got Casper Middleton's got him on track, man.
Already, I feel like we've been working really hard this season. I feel like Coach has been working real hard with the O-line, getting them where he wanted them to be. I feel like we're going to be real good this season.
Well, in our region, it all starts with Bamberger Earhart. I mean, that's the team you have to beat. And they're probably saying the team you have to beat is Well Branch. But you got there's a good Branchville squad in here. Bowman was coming on last year, had some huge players that are all back, so they could be a surprise. And then we had Estill last year that came out of nowhere and won all those games. And fortunately, they're part of Hampton County now, so we don't have to look at them. But Bamberg for sure, and Bowman and Branchville could come out of nowhere. Branchville is really good 2 years ago, so it's always a challenge. I mean, you go out and you play the one in front of you, man. And we got in trouble last year overlooking an opponent. Not too far here, and they lit us up. But on top, we're going to be offensively. We added, or we put in. Coach White's put in more play action. We're predominantly running team. Well, all our running plays now have specific passes, play action passes. We're not. It's not a call. So if you're running 52, 53 ISO, then our kids know that we run the 12. We run the 12 combo out of that.
I love Coach's explanation of an RPO.
If that's not there, don't call it. We'll call 55, 56. We'll call something else. But so we're going to rely more on play action passing than we have in the past because we run so much. We need to be efficient at play action passing. But we've changed our terminology of our pass blocking. But we're going to run the ball, man. If you're going to play Well Branch, you better stop the counter or you're going to lose. Hayes has great potential to be all-state. One day he's all-state and one day he's middle school. I hope his father doesn't see that, but that's how it is. He's got to be more consistent. You're quarterback. You've got to be like a machine. You've got to do everything the right way all the time. And we're not getting that out of him, but he's young, and that's what you get when you get a young guy quarterback. So hopefully he'll mature quickly, and because he's going to be the catalyst to the offense. We've got to have him be an efficient quarterback. Yeah, Daryl Cummins standing right here beside me. He's
love this right here,
man. And matter of fact, these are our 2 starting linebackers right here, both big as me.
Watch Daryl's face.
But Daryl is a tough physical running back. He's not going to break an 80-yard run, but he's going to get you 10, 12 yards every time.
Daryl gets in the side eye.
So we're going to put the ball in his belly and let him do what Daryl does behind that big line he got.
I'm honored to play with Jarrett. Ever since I first came in the program, since my sophomore year, I knew he was a great head coach, and I respect him and the team he has built. My style as a player, I'm just aggressive. I like to hit. Like if you get in front of me, you might get embarrassed. It's just simple as that. On defense, I'm looking for whoever got the ball as quick as possible. On offense, I'm looking for the touchdown. So hopefully I can bring success to this team this year.
I'll leave it there because, I love that attitude from Daryl Cummings. That was a great answer. Like he was just straightforward. Like, look, I'm a physical player. I'm going to hit you. If you get in front of me, it might not go well for you. And that's kind of the attitude you have to have if you're going to be that running back linebacker guy. And definitely fits the mentality of Jerry Hatcher. Fly to the ball, be aggressive, be physical, and win the battle. And I like this team on paper. Like we've said, you got to stay healthy, but I like the way things are shaking out for Well Branch.
Yeah, if everything stays the way it is in terms of health, you mentioned the physicality, the aggressiveness. the athleticism of this team. You see, especially from those running backs, but also it starts on the line as well, and it goes over to the other side of the ball, especially with guys like Keith Chisholm over there defensive players. I think all the pieces are there. I think this Whalebridge team is going to, go through a fairly difficult couple of games. When you look at this, of course, Bamberg Earhart's the one you circle at the end, which could very well be for the region championship on week 10, 27th of October. So certainly circle that game on the calendar. Before that, Allendale, Fairfax, Branchville, Bethune, Bowman, your other region opponents, but that Battery Creek game is intriguing, and then North Charleston opening up with on the road against a 3A team. So I like Whalebridge to pick up a couple of wins against these schools, a couple of classifications ahead of them. I think they have that kind of grit, size, and toughness that will get you wins during the season, but most importantly, will get you wins in the playoffs, because that's when it really tightens up and it becomes that much more of a battle down there on the field. So, this team has the potential of doing something special. And I think 1A, it's very many times it's wide open, especially in the lower state. There's not much that separates some of these top teams. You don't have the Oceanside Collegiate sometimes, or
Right.
Some of those other charter schools in 2A that could kind of slip some teams up. I think 1A, the door is open for them. And so,
yeah, it's a little more of a fair fight in 1A.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of those schools, but in the upstate, but it's not as much as 2A. You got to go through Oceanside and Gray and Bishop England, and I guess they're 3A now, right? Or they're back in 2A now, yeah. So you got all those big charters and privates in 2A, and you also got the Hampton counties and the Edistos, and Ridgeland. It's definitely not a fair fight in 2A, which is the same thing we talked about with Faber going to Whale Branch. He's got a shot to get that state title that eluded him in 2A. Down in 1A, it's a little different game for the rural schools. So, no, I like Whale Branch's chances a lot. I wouldn't sleep on Allendale either. I understand they scrimmaged Colleton the other night and had a lot of success running the ball, which is something that Colleton will have to shore up. Although I hear they dressed 100 for their scrimmage, which is huge for Kinloch that he's got those kind of numbers out. I mean, that's the first step, is just getting the numbers out, and then you can coach them up. So exciting stuff for him. Although he's got a murderer's row coming out of the gate. He's got to take on that Hampton County team that I think is going to be a big problem for a lot of people. Saw a little bit of film come out of their scrimmage with Whale Branch. They look good. Zion running the ball really well. Got that Barry Sanders vintage look with them wearing the blue unis. Saw the young freshman Jordan Bovane break a couple big plays. He's going to be really a factor for them, I think. So excited for Hampton County and Colleton to open things up. Also excited for that JP2 Thomas Heyward game to open things up. Little geographical rivalry. Heyward down a little bit this year, maybe. So maybe it should be a fairly competitive game, I think. JP2's got that one circled for sure. I don't think they've ever beaten Heyward in varsity football. So that one should be a really good one too. And Hilton Head Battery Creek as well. Got some good Lowco and Lowco matchups.
Christian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was the eye opener last year. Right. So, but we got some good Lowco on Lowco battles in week one. We don't always get those early.
We have a region game with Patrick Henry Cross. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. To touch on Cross there, since we did talk to them the other day, I'm impressed with Jared Shaw. I think he's got the right mentality coming in there, understanding where they are. Just finished their first season of varsity football. Took their lumps, and it was a challenge. And I think he's got the right mentality of, we're not going to talk about wins and losses this year. That's not what it's about for us. It's about competing and getting better and being good teammates and building something here. Because, I think he recognizes it's a long uphill climb to get that thing really where they want it to be. And it's got to start somewhere. And so, I thought they had a good attitude. I thought the kids that he brought over said all the right things. And hopefully they'll pick up a W this year. That would be huge for them, just to get a win or two.
Yeah, no, and that first win is a huge program builder if you can get it. And I mean, I think that's something that these kids, it's there's more important things than the wins and losses on a high school football field. There's a lot more of, you're building your character. I mean, you're working on teamwork. There's a lot more valuable lessons on the football field than wins and losses. But that being said, you go out there. These young men go out there with the goal of winning football games, and it would be extra special for them to accomplish that once or even more often, because this group of guys. I mean, I was really impressed by those two young men that joined us for that interview. Just their sense of belief that we're doing this for a collective unit, and we're depending on each other. And I really love the commitment that they that they kind of describe that they're using to power themselves even further this year. So I really like what's going on at Cross. I think their head coach is taking the initiative the right way, and I think these young men are buying in. I mean, you're have such a limited number of players, and that's tough because you got to keep going both ways. And it's tough to do that for 4 quarters and to maintain that level of intensity. But it's that extra special with that small group of guys because you're all you got. You got to have that extra sense of belonging and belief in each other. And I think these kids are going to exemplify that really well this year.
Yeah, you got that. You hit that nail on the head in the sense that these guys are really doing yeoman's work. I mean, it's one thing to give up your time and go out there and play football. It's a totally other thing to go out there and get it handed to you 9 times in a row and keep showing up. And that requires some mettle and some commitment that not everybody has in them. So it's tough to play on a losing team. It's really hard and to keep a good attitude about it. So props to those guys for coming back out and giving it another go this year, trying to continue to improve and hopefully we get to talk about a dub for them this season because that would be awesome. We want everybody to find success and however they define it, and picking up a win this year would be a big step in the right direction for a baby football program over there at Cross. But let's take we're going to take a break, but this is a new season, new school year. We're flipped over into August now. We're going to switch it up a little bit this year, and we're going to keep the ad reads live, the sponsor reads live, a little more interactive. And I'll start it off with Mickelson Law Firm. I want to let you know about the people who do support us here at Lowco Sports. Mickelson Law Firm was our very first sponsor back in the day when I launched this thing in 2017. Didn't even know Ryan and Tiffany then. I've since gotten to know them very well. They're great friends, great supporters, and great community members. Go see them for all your legal needs at Mickelson Law Firm. We've also got Hospice Care, the Low Country, joining them as an MVP sponsor and the official hospice care of LowcoSports.com. They do incredible work. If you're not familiar with them, they're the only nonprofit hospice in the Low Country. They're raising money all the time so that they can provide those services to folks who wouldn't otherwise have access to them. And, they always tell you that it's not about dying. It's about living at hospice care. They're going to help you live out your last days, as happy as you can be and have that moment of clarity before you pass. So if you have loved ones who are nearing the end and you want to make them comfortable, give them a call at Hospice Care, the Low Country. Homegrown Home Inspections, another MVP sponsor. My friend Jan Lucas is the owner at Homegrown Home Inspections, one of the most honest, upstanding men I know, and absolutely will take care of you if you need a home inspection, looking to buy or sell a home, or if you're looking to build one and you need a phase inspection. That's his specialty. Jan Lucas at Homegrown Home Inspections. He'll take care of you. DDS Web Design is a varsity sponsor and the official web designer and SEO expert of LowcoSports.com. Dave and Denise do a great job. They've got a great team. If you have a website and you're not getting found there, you need to get with Dave and Denise at DDS Web Design. They'll get your website working for you so that you can get found online and get more business. Parker Law Group, new addition to our varsity sponsors, doing business out in Ridgeland, Hampton, and Walterboro. We appreciate them jumping on board and supporting our coverage of BA as well as our overall coverage of the entire Lowco here at LowcoSports.com. If you have legal needs in Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties, give Parker Law Group a call. And in our Lowco Booster Club, we got Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. They are just opened over in Belfair Town Village. My guy Max running the show over there. They got all kinds of juices they can hook you up with. If you're feeling sunburnt, run down, hungover even, not you kids, but mom and dad, if you're a little hungover, they got the hangover cure they'll put in your IV bag. You just go sit in the massaging chair and take in the fluids, and they'll get you all juiced up. Sounds good, doesn't it, Wes? And then you can head over to Rooted Living Wellness, another Lowco Booster Club member, get cracked up. Chiropractic services, they're going to take care of your whole body, talk to you about the root causes of what's bothering you, and help you with your whole body fitness and health. So go see my friends over at Rooted Living Wellness, especially Ambrose. Ambrose is my guy, MIZZOU. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country, Chris Odom, the owner, and he does all the work over there at Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Nothing worse, Wes, and you walk into a place that got sticky floors, right? Like, restaurant, something like that, no good. If you do that, let them know. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country can take care of that for them. And if you own a business and you notice your floors are getting a little sticky, a little grimy, a little greasy, give Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country a call, and they'll come over and take care of that for you. They'll also clean your upholstery, your carpet, your tile, whatever you need. So give Chris a call. I promise he'll take good care of you if you let him know that Lowco sent you. And then finally, Eagle Creations joining the Lowco Booster Club this year. All you coaches out there, ADs, if you need awards, team gear, promotional items, things like that in a pinch, give Eagle Creations a call. They're just off Argent out in Okatee. They'll take care of you. They got a great little showroom out there with all kinds of stuff you can come look at, or they can show you a catalog and get something ordered for you. Take care of all your needs. So those are our sponsors at this time for 2023-24, Wes. Looking forward to getting some more renewals as well as some new sponsors on board to support what we do. But we have to thank them a million times for making this viable and allowing us to keep doing what we do, covering sports here in the Lowco. But let's get back into the news now and talk a little bit of hoops, because we've got some waves being made. We've talked a lot about the program that's launching at USCB this fall, and we're excited as can be about that. But we also have a program that's relaunching just up the road in Waltonboro. USC Salkehatchie took a year off. They've made a great hire who is really making a splash out in the JUCO recruiting world with Matt Lynch, who is as I understand it, the first openly gay basketball coach in college men's basketball. He has made a huge splash recruiting, especially in Australia. He's got a bunch of guys coming over from Australia, from Europe, going to get this program back off the ground this fall, and just signed with Nike as well. So seeing a lot of buzz about this Salkehatchie Hoops program. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I think we could see some big things over there in Sauk in these coming years, and Matt Lynch, making some waves, making some news. As you mentioned, first openly gay coach in men's college basketball. That's huge news, and we'd love to see that. We'd love to see the LGBTQ community get recognized and get these opportunities, and that's great for everyone. And I think he's going to do some big things over here in the Low Country. Formerly assistant coach at University of North Carolina, so he certainly has a good background here as he gets ready to begin things at Sauk. And this is a program that has certainly gone through some turmoil and now getting revitalized by someone who I think has all the tools to step in and make a difference very quickly here. So he's very excited. He said, this is it's a dream come true over here, taking this program at USC Salkehatchie, first openly gay men's coach in college hoops history. So big groundbreaking news, and cannot wait to get him on here on the podcast hopefully soon and talk about it, because it's a monumental moment for sports. We've seen a few around the NFL and other leagues, but to see it happen here in college basketball is a huge stepping stone, a leap forward. That this is going to be something that's going to continue and in full force to see LGBTQ coaches, get recognized and be able to thrive in these positions. So it's great to see that, and I'm just really excited to see what he does here very knowledgeable coach, a lot of tools in his toolbox, and he cannot be more pumped to get things started here. So big fall ahead here for hoops. Talk about USCB getting started, but then this USC salt program certainly also worth watching coming up. And we're only about 2 months away from practice getting started. We're getting closer.
Not far off. And, this could become a little pipeline thing here too. Lynch gets these Aussies over here for JUCO, and then they move down the road a little ways to USC for their last two. This could be a fun little thing we got going over here. But, I love watching that European style basketball, Australian basketball. So that's going to be exciting to see him bring in, some international flavor to get that program going again. And they were going pretty good before they had the coaching carousel and then had shut it down for a year. But it was going pretty well there for a while. But definitely looking forward to hoops here in the Lowco college hoops this fall, this winter. But we're also looking forward to golf every spring, always. We got a lot of golf happening this summer, obviously. But the big news golf-wise right now is that the RBC Heritage will remain an elevated event. It'll be a no-cut event next year. So we're going to get a top-flight field coming down from Augusta, and they're all going to stick around for the weekend, and it's going to be a good time out at the Heritage this spring.
It's going to be awesome. We saw the Heritage in the LA event this past year, but now with the new rules that PGA Tour is implementing with some of these big-time events, they're going to restrict the field to the best of the best, and they're going to eliminate the cuts. So we'll have everybody stay around for the weekend, as you said, and it's going to make things more exciting to have those big-name golfers here. It's great for the fans to be able to see everyone for the full 4-day event, and to have this elite level of golf here. It continues to be a more prestigious event year after year, and we've certainly come a long way from where we were about 20 so years ago, from where we were, and then with all the struggles with locking down that sponsorship with RBC, just to see the trajectory of how quickly and how this tournament has evolved over the years. And you just give a lot of credit to Steve Wilmot and his team for what he's done and what that entire team has done to make it one of the most world-renowned events, not just in PGA Tour, but in the world. And we're going to see the cream of the crop year-round at this point from Harper. You just look at the past two champions, Jordan Spieth, Matt Fitzpatrick. Big names you just look at the field we had last year. It was almost the entire top 10 of world rankings. So it just
leaderboard was ridiculous, just ridiculous. It was awesome. And I know, let's not be naive. It's not going to be a elevated event always, because otherwise the others would never be, and that they would fail. They're going to have to spread that around a little bit, but hopefully the Heritage stays in pretty heavy rotation. Maybe it will remain one. Who knows? But so far so good. We'll just count our lucky stars every year that we have that elevated status, and it draws those big name players down from Augusta, because we definitely had some lean years there for a while where it was tough to get those top flight players. But it's awesome to see everybody come to Harbortown every spring, and we get to see the best of the best duke it out. So speaking of golf, we do have a live look in on the leaderboard at the SCGA Amateur. Trying to get the leaderboard pulled up here, but we've got a little bit of some Lowco ties up here. Up near the top, you've got Todd White, who you probably recall him, Wes. Taught at Hilton Head High for a while, was down here in the Low Country for a good while, now back up in the Spartanburg area. He's getting up there in age. Like, he's got to be pushing 50 or in his 50s, but still playing great golf. 10 under through 3 rounds. He's 1 shot off the lead of Rafe Reynolds. And then you saw the local guys here, Max Green, Hilton Head Christian Academy guy, who's now at West Virginia, tied for 7th. He is at West Virginia, right? Isn't that right? Garrett Fader made the cut. Coley Davis made the cut. Matt O'Quinn got to a great start, shot 71 in the first round, and then had a tough second round and withdrew in the third round. Might have had an injury there. But a good showing from, a couple of the local guys. Green is 10 shots back, tied for 7th, but nonetheless, the top 10 would be a quality showing for him. And old Todd White still playing great golf.
Yeah, that's cool to see. Todd White competing with those young guys. He's still got it, and to put up those scores, gotta feel good for him to stay out there competing, and that's awesome to see. But Max Green, a solid performance so far. You'd love to nail down the top 10. This is it's a strong field. It's not an easy field at all to go up against. And to see some of our Lowco guys, our young guys, performing well in this tournament as well. You look at Garrett Fader, who we've called his name a lot this past year over there for all he's done in high school golf. But it's great to have so many of these tournaments to cover over the summer. They've been busy. We just had the Jimmy Self tournament over on the island, and it's been we talk about the high school golf season, but it's. These players really have a chance to make the name for themselves when you get in the summer and compete in these high prestige tournaments. This one, it's not going to amateur, but there's a lot of opportunities for these young men and young women to test themselves. So, I just think the state of golf here in the Lowco just continues to get better, and I'm excited to see what the girls have in them for this high school golf season as we get closer to that in a few weeks.
Yeah, we're right upon it. May River should be pretty strong again, I would suspect, although I understand that they are the market for coach. The coach that they had lined up, Kelly Manassi, stepped down after last season. She'd been at the helm for a while. And I understand that their coach got another job offer and was going to accept that. So they're looking for a coach. If our friend Krista Dunton, needs another job, she could go help out there, or old Brian Rietveld could go back on the cart. But if anybody's looking to lead some young ladies on the golf course this fall, they could use somebody to step up and get out there and help them out. So, we got some really strong teams. Hilton Head Prep always has some good girls. Hilton Head Christian has been coming up. Of course, the May River team has been strong. And Hilton Head's always solid as well. Ron Grant does a great job. So, and Bluffton's, usually pretty good too. So, definitely looking forward to seeing some of those teams contend for state titles this fall. But let's shift gears once again, Wes, and talk about a couple of your Hilton Head Seahawks who are doing big things. I got the Pirates game on in the background here. I'm rooting for them to beat the Brewers because the Cubbies are back in it now. But Carmen Majensky is looking like the whole real deal with the Pirates so far.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by the way he's really seamlessly fit into the bullpen and just is taking care of business for the most part when he's coming to action. And it's crazy to really see how quickly he's kind of adapted and all the adjustments that he had made to get this level. But things have really started to click here, and it's looking like he could get an expanded role going forward in this Pirates bullpen. They've been using him a bit more in high leverage relief, and for the most part, he's been getting the job done. And a 2.21 ERA, just outstanding. Coming in for his rookie campaign here with Pittsburgh Pirates, and the way just he composes himself on the mound, and his confidence. They're saying he's not scared. He's primed for these moments in high leverage relief like this, and to have that grit factor early on in your career to come up out of the bullpen, which is not easy to do, and be able to pick up a hold or even pick up a save. It's not easy. So he really has shown a couple of different mixes in his arsenal, and he's really started to get things in a sense where he knows what to throw at what time, and he has the confidence to throw them in the right spots. And it's definitely all clicking so far. And you expect to see some adversity going forward. That's hard to keep up those kind of statistics. But at the same time, you have to be very thrilled of what we're seeing out of the gate for Kerr Majensky. So obviously it's a fantastic start. And I've been reading a couple of articles and they're all really impressed of how he's melded with some of the teammates. I heard he's a big classic rock guy. He loves to jam out to his classic rock.
He plays guitar.
Yeah,
he sits down in the clubhouse with the guitar and starts playing Jimi Hendrix and stuff, and like he's buds with the manager because he's like the old soul on the team, despite being the rook up from the minors. So, no, I thought that was really cool. I read about that and totally kind of related to that. Like that's me too. I was always that guy who was into classic rock and stuff. So I continue to love Carmen Mlodzinski more and more. Just a cool kid and an old soul and really handling his business like a pro in Pittsburgh and looks like a guy that is going to factor largely into their plans down the road, whether it's as a closer, as a starter if he does develop that pitch mix, or as a trade chip, because that's usually what they do with their good players, trade them away. But no, it's going to be good times for Mlodzinski wherever he plays, I think, because he's got the stuff. He's got what it takes, and
he has the same.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the mentality. He's got the mental toughness.
The dog in it.
To be able to come up. Yeah, I mean, to be able to come up and have that success, and then have a little adversity and get right back on the horse and not really even hit a bump in the road is pretty impressive. And so I think he's going to be have a really good career in the bigs. And another guy that is an alum of Hilton Head High like yourself and Carmen is Jalen Sneed, and he continues to get lots of love on the social media accounts for Notre Dame. It looks like he's going to have a bigger role there this year, and excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, he's certainly fitting his nickname of the Nuke over there. Over in Notre Dame. I mean, the physicality that he comes to the field with is very, very reminiscent of what we've seen back at Hilton Head High. Just the way that he attacks the play when he gets on there, and the way he pursues the ball carrier. It's fun to watch, and his development has been really good these end of last year into this coming season. We've been seeing some big things from Jalen Sneed, and I'm really excited because I think he's going to get an opportunity to be a full-time starter now in this Notre Dame defense, and I think the sky's the limit for what he can do here. I think he chose a very good spot here to build his college career. That's a very one of the most prestigious schools in the country, Notre Dame, and they always have tough schedules. They're going to be tested right out of the gate, and they'll be headed to Death Valley. So a little South Carolina homecoming for Jalen Sneed gets to potentially play at Clemson this year.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good time. We got guys all over the place. I was going to start. I was just thinking the other day, like looking at that South Carolina, Football Coaches Association map with the 16 college football programs in the state. I was like, man, we got guys in almost every one of them. We should research how many are missing and shame them and tell them they better start recruiting the Low Country. But we do have a lot of guys out there playing football, and some good news I saw today. Brandon Howard, our old pal from Ridgeland Hardyville, and Thomas Heyward was offered. He was put on full athletic scholarship today at Charleston Southern. So he bet on himself, went in there and earned himself a scholarship, and definitely earned himself a role this fall too. Because and we knew he would. I mean, no way I would have ever doubted that kid. That kid he's made out of the right stuff, and he went up there and he earned it and showed himself to be a leader, and now he's on scholarship. So congrats.
Yeah, never was going to bet against that kid. I mean, just the level of energy and hard work that he's put out there back over at Thomas Heyward. I mean, it's just a guy who would stop at nothing to make a play, whether it was offensively or making a big stop on defense. That guy was just flying all over the field, and you could see his impact everywhere for Thomas Heyward, and just a shame to see him go out that early on in that state championship game. But just an extraordinary career. Then he got on the basketball court and that same energy back there. Just a fantastic athlete who just worked harder than anyone else. And I'm not surprised to see him walk away now with the full scholarship. one of the greatest moments, especially when they're surprised by the scholarship at practice. I mean, just the smiles, the energy, the celebrations. There's nothing like it, and it just goes to show you the hard work. It's a long road. It is not easy to get there, but if you put in the work and you can maintain that level of will and you want it that badly, it is a chance of happening, and it worked out well for Brandon Howard. He bet himself, and he came out victorious.
Yeah, and a whole lot of people helped him get there, and he'd be the first to tell you that, and including Nic Shuford, who was our guest tonight, and he had a big role in it, and James McNair definitely had a huge role in it. James McNeil, definitely had a huge role in it out at Ridgeland Hardyville. Lots and lots of people were involved in getting him over that finish line and helping him get into a position where he could earn that scholarship. So we want to see more of that. We want to see more kids, and we want to help, be a part of that team that helps you guys get to where you want to be. So big part of what we're trying to do here is put your names out there and help you learn how to better put your names out there and get yourselves into these situations. So with that, Wes, we'll call it a night. It was a great show. Thanks so much to all of our sponsors. Thanks a bunch to Nic and Dietrich Shuford for jumping on to talk football with us. And most of all, thanks to all of you for listening and watching. You're the reason we show up and do it every week. And we got all kinds of high school football coverage coming at you. It's already started, and it's not going to stop until we get to the state championship game. So it's going to be a good time. That's right. SC State and Charleston Southern. That's where we hope to finish things out this season for high school football. Once again, it seems like every year somebody takes care of that goal for us. So looking forward to seeing who it'll be this year. Hopefully we'll have to make multiple trips to state championship games. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks so much to everyone who joined us. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to our guests, Nic and Dietrich Shuford from Beaufort Academy. I'm Justin Jarrett. He's Wes Kerr. Until next time, go Loco.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of...
Did it not go? Not playing it.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.